Hello everyone, and I'm showing you hopefully the last time I ever used Twitter properly because yeah, I've just had enough now, and I made a video, I think, was it in like April, where I said I was quitting, and I did actually quit for 3 months before. And I spoke about in the video how that made me feel and how it was a real good thing. But sadly, there's just something about Twitter when it comes to like live news. We obviously had a UK election, we had a US election, and it just felt like I should have been on it for that just to keep up with everything. But I've decided my like one New Year's resolution is to just stop using Twitter. Like stop going on it, stop using it for videos, even though it can be so helpful because it has bookmarks, which Blue Sky doesn't have. And I'm basically committed to completely moving over to Blue Sky, which if you've been following me over there, you know I've pretty much just been using that now. Now, the one thing I will say is if you do follow me on Twitter and you are a sicko who's staying, I will be cross-posting certain things using this app called Buffer, where you can post the same like post to Threads, Blue Sky, and Twitter at the same time. But I won't be reading replies, I won't be reading the timeline, I won't be just on it really ever unless there's something very specific that comes up. And that's part of the reason I'm not deleting my account. And I'm also not deleting my account because in the past, when I've had problems with YouTube, the main way you can kind of get their attention is through Twitter, annoyingly. So that's why I'm not just outright deleting it, even though I kind of want to. So as for my change of heart in terms of quitting, then not quitting, and then coming back, I haven't checked the For You tab today, but I'm just going to go on it right now. You're going to see me live doing this. Let's see what we get. So I'm going to my homepage, which is just my chronological timeline, my following tab. Go to show me the new posts. Just, you know, people who work on The Witcher posting about it. Let's go to my For You page. Let's see what Elon is serving me up today to make me feel insane. So For You, the top is, let's see what the top of the post is. Someone talking about Star Wars theory. Now, do I want to know about this? No. Am I morbidly curious because I hate this guy? Yeah. Will my life be better or worse if I pay attention to this drama? It will probably be worse. I don't want to do that. And if I just go down, it's basically just people talking politics. Aaron Bastani quote tweeting Ben Shapiro. Lance from the Surfs tweeting about some account being banned that I don't know. Lovely saying some random crap, and it's just like political news. I'm seeing footage from the fires, and thankfully actually my For You page isn't absolutely like cooked at the moment, so I'm not just seeing a bunch of neo-Nazi like garbage. But the one thing I'll say, and this is just how I feel generally about Twitter, and this is why I'm quitting, as I'm scrolling, I'm just getting fed like so many different random things from my brain, and so many things that I just, if I'm honest, I just don't really want to know about, and I don't want to constantly see. Like, I was thinking even with these fires, as much as like this is important and I should pay attention, I'm at this stage in my, well, obviously political, I wouldn't call it evolution because I've been very similar for the last like 6 or 7 years, but I'm at this stage where I don't need to see really terrible stuff. So seeing stuff from the fires or seeing stuff from just like any terrible tragedy or seeing footage from Gaza, I just don't need that fed to me without my consent. Now, why I say that is there is no like filter on most of Twitter. So on this For You tab, I can see anything. I can see violent images, I can see sexual images, and I'm not saying these should be banned from the internet, but Twitter is unique in its ability to cook up all of these things and put it in your face straight away. And it's just so bad for your brain. Like, think about all those like explicit things you will be seeing, right? And think about how your brain reacts to seeing that. You're seeing that within like a minute of scrolling. And it's just not good for anyone. And especially because with the For You tab and other things, you don't actually want to see it from certain pages. And that's one of the big things of Blue Sky, is because of Blue Sky, you can very much like curate your experience with different feeds and see only what you want to see. It doesn't feel like when I'm scrolling it, I'm just being fed stuff I don't want to see. And that could be good stuff, funny stuff, or just like really terrible stuff, or stuff I just don't want to follow at this point. And Twitter just keeps you hooked because it throws so much random shit at you. You just keep reading, you keep scrolling, you keep doing all this stuff. Now, another part of this as well, why I'm stopping using this, is just Elon Musk. Now, that should be obvious to everyone. I actually said this back in my other video, But what Elon Musk is doing on this platform, and I said he was turning it into 4chan like straight away, but it's literally just becoming the most rancid, like fascist place on the entire internet. And I just don't want to be exposed to all this insane fascism all the time. Like, yeah, it's important for me to talk about this at certain points, but it's just such a hotbed. It's like me going on 4chan Poll every day and talking about the insane stuff I find on there. Like, I wouldn't do that, would I? And since Twitter is becoming that, why would I subject myself to the most racist filth I can find on the internet? I'm not going to do that anymore, and I don't want to pay attention, and I don't want this like terrible social media experience anymore, because it just occupies your brain. And there's so many people, and you can just think about anyone you see on Twitter. There are so many people who only exist on Twitter. They only annoy you on Twitter, and they only impact you on Twitter through being annoying. Once you stop using it, they're gone from your brain forever. And sadly, this is also in terms of like mutuals I have, other creators. Once I stop using Twitter, I kind of just forget all about them, which is sad in its own way. But the positive is I'm forgetting about loads of far right accounts. I'm forgetting about loads of fascist shit. And I'm actually insulating my brain from just being irritated 24/7 by this social media feed. Now, something I also want to say is, if you guys are struggling, I totally get it. Like, quitting Twitter is hard. I've used it since 2011, and it's been so helpful for my YouTube career. It's so helpful for ideas, not just talking about stuff on Twitter, but just getting random ideas for videos. It is, you know, there's something about it and its constant feed of garbage that is good for content. I will admit that. But at the same time, I said in my other video, it occupies your brain in such a toxic way. Like, if you go on it in the morning, and even if you just like wake up in the night and you're a bit bored, want to go on your phone, you go on it, you're never going back to sleep, because it just triggers your brain in a certain way, and it can just like mess up your whole day if you go on it and read stuff that's annoying or see stuff that's gross. So when I initially quit it, I got back into reading in a big way for the first time in years. Like, I've always read books. I've mainly read like political books or history books, but I've read like 1 to 6 of the Doom books. So I'm on the 6th one right now, and that correlated with me quitting Twitter the first time. So once I quit Twitter, once I got over the phantom scroll, where I would literally scroll my phone trying to click Twitter, I would then go to my books app and I would read a book. And I didn't finish, but I'm going to finish it, Neuromancer, and obviously most of the Doom books. And in the last 10 months, I've read like 7 books. And I know, like, to a lot of you readers listening, that's not a lot. That's loads for me, especially because some of these books are very long as well. And I'm proud of myself for doing that. And also because of that, it's inspired me to get back to writing my book, which I started a while back. So all of this free space in my head from quitting Twitter last year just had such positive results on just my general, I wouldn't even call it mental health, but just my headspace. And obviously, I went back. I wouldn't call it a mistake because of the elections and important events, but I went back and I found myself getting like so sucked back in. And that was scary because I thought I'd broken the addiction. But what I've noticed now is that did help me break the addiction, because it made this so much easier to decide to do. I deleted it off my phone. I deleted it off my iPad. The last day I made a YouTube video in 2024. And then I just thought to myself over the Christmas break, I didn't go on it. And I didn't miss it. And now when I go on it, it fills me with a sense of dread. I wouldn't call it anxiety, but I just don't want to be there anymore. And even looking at it now, I'm hoping I just don't look at this like much at all in the future. So the future for me on social media is just not on Twitter anymore. You know, I have 16,000 followers. I've had a lot of good interactions with people, loads of lovely messages from people, loads of just nice people being respectful. I've also had insane dog piles from conservatives and fascists. I've had attacks from other left-wing people. And I just think Twitter uniquely incentivizes a really toxic relationship with each other. We don't treat each other as humans on Twitter. And I say that as someone who also doesn't treat people as humans on Twitter, because that's the worst part about Twitter. You don't treat people like a normal person. You treat them as potential dunks, you don't care how it makes them feel, and you do it all for content, social media likes, and dopamine. And no matter how nice a person you think you are in real life, which I tend to think I'm a nice person, There's something about Twitter that brings out the worst in everyone, which has created a uniquely toxic culture, which has only become worse and worse and worse with Elon Musk. But we can't pretend this toxic culture wasn't there without him, because it definitely was. He just dialed it up and put a fascism or a fascist spin on it. So again, to break our social media addiction, I think sometimes we just have to do the hard part. Now, am I going away from social media? No. First of all, I like social media, and I like the ones I use: Reddit, Instagram, Blue Sky, and YouTube, of course. The difference is, with these other places, it just feels like it's my consent and I have to go looking for stuff to find it, rather than it just being fed to me without me wanting to see it, but, you know, constantly seeing this shit anyway. So on Instagram now, I have my free Instagram accounts, my Kavernacle one, then my travel one, and my gaming one, and I'm having fun, obviously, posting on all of them. I like it because I just post what I want. People like it, or maybe leave a few comments, but there's just not much feedback. Like, people like it, that's it. There's no dog piles, there's no loads of comments, there's no snarky comments, there's no annoying comments. It's just, you know, that. Blue Sky has been good so far. It reminds me of old Twitter. And Reddit, of course, is just, you know, Reddit. And it can be super useful, can be annoying, but you just stay away from the annoying subreddits. So yeah, rest in peace for Kavernacle Twitter. Again, like I said, if you're staying on it, not deleting it, you will get tweets from me, but I just won't be on there. I won't be interacting with people. I won't be commenting or replying to anything people send me, unless, you know, I've somehow stumbled across it and it's super important or whatever. So yeah, that is it for Twitter. Thanks, Elon. But honestly, it's not just Elon. It's a toxic social media platform. I think for people who engage in political commentary, it's actually the worst place to be and makes you feel like the worst about yourself. I'm seeing Hassan on my screen right now. I can't imagine how someone like that is both on Twitter all the time and obviously is being targeted by so many different communities. Must just drive you absolutely insane. I don't know how he's still on Twitter himself. But that's it for the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and if you made it this far, thank you for watching.